Hey guys, doing a quick chat on 90 Day Fiance. I also want to remind you guys to check us out on our podcast. You can listen anytime at cbiztvonline.com for more content. We talk about faith, love, and trends. Again, that's cbiztvonline.com where you can check out the About Us section. So we talked a little bit about Nicole and Mahmoud. He's Muslim, she's American. And she decided to convert to the Muslim lifestyle, not realizing how much of her freedoms that she would lose that she was accustomed to as an American. And at this point, she's actually asking Mahmoud to come to America with her and try that out because she just can't deal with things going on in the lifestyle in that culture in Egypt. So that's what's currently going on with them. Also, what I would like to point out is the fact that Mahmoud is actually considering this. And I give him much respect for considering it because it seems like something he would never do. He does seem like he's very set in his ways and his beliefs, but I still see that he has a love for Nicole and he really wants to make his marriage work. And that's one thing that I respect. I can't say that that's true because of religious reasons and all people that have a certain faith or religion that they follow are like this. But I think that having some set of morals and values can kind of contribute to the fact of trying to make things work, trying to make a marriage, especially a marriage, work. They've, had so many reasons how they've butted heads. None of it has been really serious. Like there's no cheating, but it's mostly custom related. And then Mahmoud gets on her a lot, and she just, comes back at him when it comes to just them not agreeing on these certain issues. But someone could easily say, at this point, I'm not going to leave my country for you. But she left her country for him, so he felt it's only fair that he at least try and do the same thing. But still continue his Muslim ways. I think he was talking with his brother. His brother may have thought, you may, get a little soft if you go to America. But he's saying, I'm going to keep my values wherever I go. And I think that's a good lesson. Like whatever faith or religion you believe in, I'm a Christian. Just to keep your values, whatever situation you're in. It doesn't matter what country you're in, if you're at the club or if you're at church. But let's say you find yourself at the club for some reason. You still keep your same morals and values, wherever you go, out of respect of your faith and out of respect of what you believe. So I definitely have a lot of respect for Mahmoud for the fact that he wants to make his marriage work and he's going to try to do anything possible to make this thing work, even if it's uncomfortable for him, because she's had to do a lot of uncomfortable things. She's not doing it very well, but she's put the effort out there, so now it's his turn. And he could easily step back as a man and say, hey, no, I don't have to do these things. You're supposed to follow me. And in his culture, it seems like the man is definitely the dominant person in the relationship. But he decides, I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that's going to give it an effort. I'm the guy that's going to at least give it a try because I don't want to lose my marriage. I want things to work out. And I think in our society and in our world, just the whole respect and sanctity of marriage is kind of course, lost its glory and lost its gleam and lost its charm. But to see two people really trying to stick it out, really have love and respect for each other and for the institution of marriage, I think it's a beautiful thing. And I'm hoping that, all the work that they're putting in, everything that they're going through pays off in the end. So that's Nicole and Mahmoud. Yeah, I'm just going to point out a few people that really stick out to me in the latest episode. And always want you guys' thoughts and feedback. You guys can always email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com. That's cbiztv@yahoo.com. Now I want to go to Danielle and Johan. There's age difference there. and she moved to the Dominican Republic for him. Recently, they got into it because her ex was in town, so she wanted to meet up with her ex. He got really upset about this, and he basically refused, but somehow she was able to get him to meet with the ex, who says, he has no feelings of trying to rekindle anything with her. He just wants to hang out and catch up with her as friends. But Johan made a big deal about it, talking about private parts. He said some things that were inappropriate, and she started to cry. And so I think that they have a lot of strife between each other, and he sees himself as the alpha male, and he feels that she's not really following suit and kind of trying to do her own thing. So in that way, I think they clash. I see him, he's somewhat of a bullheaded, he's a bullheaded young guy. He's got a wife, and he's dealing with the older woman here from America. So definitely she's not going to be typical of what he thinks that he's getting into. But it also makes me think of the way that they get along with each other. And you can't turn somebody into a wife. Not trying to bash her in any way, but the characteristics of a wife, whatever he's looking for in a wife. She's a single older woman. She's been living her life that way for some time now. So to expect her to just magically become a wife overnight, or even for her to expect herself to be that, and also to expect him to have this open-minded thought process. I mean, it's different when you're married and you have a spouse. So seeing what you're dealing with here, you can't just change somebody overnight. There's a whole different element when you're a husband and wife versus you're dating, even versus you're courting or even fiance. So I see her living her life as long as she has, being single, dating, being independent, and then now she comes into this thing where this man, he wants to take the lead, he wants to take control, he wants to take care of everything. So there's definitely going to be a clash when you're with somebody that is used to that single lifestyle, used to dating and kind of doing what they want. And so it has to be a compromise. It has to be something where you guys can kind of see where each other is coming from. But that's the whole thing when it comes to, being single for so long. It's not that we want to be single for so long, because I've been single for a long time in my life. But after you're single for so long, your mindset kind of, it's set there. So you really have to, work to, a lot of people say you have to kind of prepare to be a wife. You have to prepare to be a husband, because things are going to change drastically. You're going to have to change in a lot of different ways. You're going to have to step back in certain ways, and you may feel it's not fair, but that's what it is when you're in a committed, long-lasting, long-term relationship. Is each of you are going to have to step back in some ways and let the other person's feelings be in the upfront, or let them, take the lead in certain areas, because that's what a compromising, loving relationship looks like. So that's what's going on with Danielle and Johan. My feedback on them. Jen and Rishi. Rishi's from the Indian culture, and a lot of these men, again, have old school values. And there's a lot of older women, coming into their lives. And these women, of course, are probably somewhat set in their ways. They may have been married, but they've had a stint where, they've lived a single life and they're kind of used to their independence. So with Jen and Rishi, he basically had struggled with, telling his parents about her, because she's American for one, and she is an older woman. So they have customs there, and they're in the Indian culture, and the parents find this, the partner, the wife, usually for the man in the family. So the fact that he found his own, he kind of kept that secret. He did play the coward a lot. um, just waiting for the right time. But he was honest and upfront with his family and said, he wasn't interested in the people that they brought to him. But he also was not honest enough to say he'd found someone. And I'm sure he knew he was bucking the system, talking to this woman that's older, from another country, another culture. And with to me, their issue is that, but also is Jen. She's also, to me, I think she's a little bit too demanding. She doesn't appear to be willing to try to even conform to their culture at all, to some degree or some level. And with Nicole and Mahmoud, you can see at least she was trying. For Jen, I feel she tries a little bit, but she's just so used to American lifestyle. She's just now coming to move to India to try to tie the knot with Rishi. His family doesn't know, so that's a big issue. And she doesn't want to live in the house with the family, which is one of their customs, so that he can help continue to take care of the elders. She doesn't want to do that. And so there's certain demands that she has, and she's not really looking at his side as much. And also, she kind of pulled a trick and had her friends tell the family about them, even though he was kind of warming up to it but had not yet done it. So they thought, okay, she's a friend. They didn't know that she was his fiance, so to speak. Not so to speak, but actually. But for the family, basically, spoiler alert, denied him being with her when they found out her age. She doesn't know that yet, so he has to break it to her. But I see on both ends, it's kind of messy. I feel like Jen should have some level of respect of his culture and try to compromise. That she's basically has, okay, this is what I want, and this is what I want. He's like, okay. And there's like no room for compromise. He feels like he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I feel like on some level, especially if you're going to be with somebody of another culture, another country, and other customs, on some level you do have to conform. You can't completely Americanize them, or you can't completely make them a part of the Asian culture, depending on who you're with. You can't expect them to 100% conform. And same thing similar going on with Nicole and Mahmoud. You can't expect 100% conforming, but you got to do your best and try to give it a try. And you're going to have to make allowances, just like in any relationship. But it just takes it to another level when you're on a show like 90 Day Fiance. You're dealing with people of different cultures, plus everyday regular relationship issues. Somebody's gonna have to step back. I think both people are gonna have to step back on some level and make room and make allowances for each other if they want their relationships to work. Gabriel and Isabel. Gabriel is a transgender male and is marrying Isabel, and the family has embraced Gabriel as a transgender man. Isabel's family has welcomed them in. It was challenging at first. They were trying to test the waters and see, will the family accept this? And her family has welcomed them in. Her kids, she's already previously has kids. They have welcomed him as well, but the family he was born into has issues, especially his sister. And so it's just kind of funny. Like, to me, I feel like there are some people that have that issue in that situation where they get more love from outsiders than they do from their own family. Sadly, that is the situation in the case with people. And I'm blessed to not have that situation, but your family should be your first line of defense, the first set of people that you feel the most love from. And to see, everything that Gabriel has gone through, living a transgender lifestyle and all of that, and how close their family, I think, is really trying to protect Gabriel from just everything and different issues because of their lifestyle. That maybe it's coming out of love, but on some level, they just don't get along. They just don't connect, and Gabriel's not feeling the love like they are feeling, or like he is feeling, from Isabel's family. So I think we can all, on some level, you've heard of it if you haven't lived it, But sometimes you get more love from your new family than you do from your old, sadly. And then finally, I have to go with my final thoughts on Debbie and Usama. And Usama is basically your typical, to me, 90-day fiance stereotype. He is the one that you fear that you're going to meet if you ever get in the process of being with somebody from another country, that this person is trying to scam you, this person is trying to trick you. And I've seen some in the past where people have been sending money, and sometimes they never meet this mysterious person from this other country, but they have paid out a lot of money in their bank account. With Debbie and Usama's with a much older woman. And, Debbie's family said, there's a catch to this. There's something going on. She didn't believe so. So when she gets up there, he already starts, talking about he wants to go back to America. But the plan was for her to live there in his country with him. So for all intents and purposes, it appears he just used her to live that American dream, take his poetry and his art and all that they bonded on before. He wants to take that and become famous in America. His eyes is set on that and really not on Debbie. So you really have to think about, when it comes to love and relationships, sometimes people have ulterior motives. You think that you're being loved, you're in love, but some people don't really have those hearts in their eyes. They don't care about love the way that you do. They don't fall in love. They have motives. They say, well, I'll take this and use this because my real dream is this. So his real dream may not be to find an American woman to marry and to love. His real dream is to go be famous in America, and that's really his true love, not Debbie. So he's kind of the 90-day fiance nightmare person here that you don't want to meet, but he's a stereotype of what you can expect, what you think you might expect when you're in that situation. Many people are leery about this show, leery about this, especially in the beginning. I think after so many seasons and years, we've seen a lot of couples make it work. We've seen some that didn't, but we've seen a lot of couples that really seem to be happy together. And this is like legitimate love. But this is a cautionary tale, Debbie and Usama, so far. We still have a few more episodes to go on 90 Day Fiance the other way. Excited to see how things close out. And if you guys have any comments, any thoughts, you guys can always email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com. That's cbiztv@yahoo.com.